Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a science fiction thriller film, Spectral. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Some year in Moldova, the long-lasting war has turned the whole city into ruins. The US troops are attacked by some unknown apparition, released by the rebel forces. It is invisible to the human's naked eye, yet moves fast and kills almost instantaneously. It can only be seen through the hyperspectral camera. As soon as the apparition goes through a human body, the internal organs will freeze in an instant, while the body is burned and corroded. Mark is a researcher from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, who has invented lots of advanced combat equipment, including the helmet cams that are used by the soldiers in the Moldovan War. He is invited by the U.S. Army general to assist the investigation at a military air base. After Mark sees the footage of the apparition, he knows that it is not that simple. The general introduces Mark, his partner Madison working for CIA. They need to work together to find out what on earth the apparition is. The local people believe that it is the ghosts of war that are seeking revenge. Mark thinks it is just superstition, while Madison thinks this is some kind of cloaking technology. They are just the insurgent soldiers wearing active camouflage. However, Mark doesn't agree with this theory either, because there is not enough data supporting it. Mark decides to use his own hyperspectral camera to get a better shot. Missions are run in the fields every day, so Mark decides to rip out the 50 calories and mounts the camera on the top of the Delta vehicle. At first, soldiers are not happy with his move, but when they realize that Mark is the famous equipment designer, they all change their minds. After all, Mark and his team design most of the popular equipment, such as mechanical loaders, and the body stocking that protects their weak balls. This mission is led by a bald guy, and the goal is to rescue the soldiers trapped in a building located in an area controlled by the rebel forces. When everything is ready, the group set off in trucks. Upon arriving at the location, the target building, Delta Force operators get off the vehicle quickly as soon as it stops. It is believed that the Utah team is trapped on the 4th floor. Starting from the first one, they search every floor carefully. In the meantime, Mark and Madison stay in the vehicle and monitor their helmet cam feeds. As the person who knows the gear best, Mark spots something unusual at their 2 o'clock. But the operators don't see anything. They march with caution and find an upside-down bathtub, where an injured soldier is hiding. The soldier tells them that all his teammates are dead, and their bodies are upstairs. Something like a frozen blanket went through them. When the operators go upstairs, they see bodies are lying all over the floor, just as expected. But there is no sign of a firefight. All the dead bodies are burnt, and the internal organs are frozen. Mark spots a glowing apparition through an operator's helmet cam. The operator takes several shots, but they all go right through it. Obviously, it is not an insurgent soldier wearing active camouflage. Later, the operator is killed by the apparition when it passes through him. The leader of the team gives an order that everyone switches to heavy rounds. But the apparition moves too fast. Soon it kills another 3 operators. Seeing this, Mark suggests they pull out immediately, for bullets won't kill this apparition. The rest of the operators pull out by descending with ropes. Mark comes out of the vehicle and points the camera to the window. The operators are being chased and killed by the apparition. Thankfully, Mark gets a clear shot of the apparition. It is translucent and humanoid. In anger, the leader of the operators fires a rocket towards the apparition, but that doesn't kill it at all. The apparition runs out of the ruins and kills the leader instantly, as well as the operators coming out of the building. The survivors get into the vehicle quickly. Unfortunately, the vehicle runs over mines planted by the rebels. 2 vehicles are overturned by the explosion. The group has to take cover in an abandoned factory. Madison's forehead is wounded, and she is shocked during the explosion. Now they are confirmed that what is attacking them is not human for sure, because the apparition can go through walls, but also can't be killed by bullets. At this point, the operators' cams are damaged. Mark checks the hyperspectral camera and finds that the apparitions are wandering outside of the factory. They are stopped by a barrier of iron shavings, which are scattered around the factory. It seems that there are other people here inside the factory, so the group searches the factory. When they find a closed door, suddenly someone opens fire from inside. They open the door and find 2 children, a girl and her younger brother. The girl tells them that it is their father, who put the iron shavings to protect them before he was killed by the apparitions. They believe the apparition is a creature living between life and death. Mark spots ceramic tile on their father's body, and a map marking a place called Masarif. The girl says that is where the killing begins. Meanwhile, the major speaks with the base. The general is going to send helicopters to pick them up in a plaza about 800 meters away. But the apparitions are roaming the streets, which makes it difficult to get to the plaza. Mark finds lots of iron shavings left in the factory, and then comes up with a plan that the operators can use iron shavings, glass bottles, and grenades to make dirty bombs. Mark also modifies the hyperspectral camera into a searchlight, so the operators can see the apparitions with their own eyes. Mark gives instructions to the base, asking them to make a larger searchlight. Before the extraction, the apparitions gather in front of the building. They jumped across the barrier and enter the factory, forcing the group to evacuate from the back door. The operators fire dirty bombs at the apparitions that keep chasing them. Though the apparitions can't be killed, they're slowed down massively by the iron, and even frozen for a while. When the group reach the rendezvous point, the helicopter hasn't arrived yet, so they take shelter in a bus nearby. Mark's searchlight breaks down. Luckily, a tank equipped with a large searchlight arrives. It is their people coming to rescue them. In the searchlight, numerous apparitions appear on the building. While the tank is shooting the apparitions, the group race to the tank. The tank blows up the building in seconds, but the apparitions come out unhurt and dash to the group like a shadow with a long tail. The apparitions kill the soldiers without any resistance. An apparition destroys the tank together with the searchlight, leaving the soldiers with no vision. The little boy runs to an open area to retrieve the ceramics left by his father. His risky behavior gets him killed by an apparition before his sister can save him. In spite of the grief, they have to continue to retreat. Finally, the helicopter comes equipped with a hyperspectral searchlight. Seeing the apparitions are stopped by the airflow from the propeller, Mark smashed the iron shavings on the ground, which are scattered by the airflow. The apparitions are trapped by the iron, which buys some time for the group to get on the helicopter. Once safely in the air, they are told that the base has been taken by the apparitions, so they have to go to a civilian bunker. There, Mark learns from the little girl that the power plant in Masarif might be the lair of the apparitions. Her father learned that those horrible ghosts could pierce through almost everything but ceramics, because he makes ceramics. Late at night, the general comes with 5 helicopters, bringing some soldiers and weapons. Unfortunately, their military base is overrun. He has brought what is left with him here. While people are quarreling in despair, Mark deduces what the apparition actually is. It is not solid, liquid, nor gas. However, it is man-made, Bose-Einstein condensate. It can be slowed down by iron, and cannot pass through the ceramic, which explains why someone can survive under the ceramic bathtub. The nuclear power plant is exactly the place, providing energy for the apparitions. Marx believes that plasmic discharge can tear apart the condensate. So everyone goes out to search for anything they can use to make this special weapon. Mark turns this bunker into an arsenal, and builds a dozen of plasmic discharge guns. The soldiers have made up their minds to go to Masarif to destroy the power plant, and stop the apparitions. The next day, the soldiers head to Masarif in the helicopters. They mount the searchlight on a robot dog. 2 soldiers are firing at the apparitions with a makeshift pulse weapon. Once the apparition is hit, it is destroyed immediately. Seeing the weapon is a great success, the soldiers are all cheered up. Then, they launch a full-scale attack. While the soldiers fight to distract the apparitions, Mark and Madison go down to the power plant. But they are separated by an apparition, not long after they reach the ground. Mark and Madison go find the lab under cover of the soldiers. They find this massive lab behind a big iron door. It's revealed that the previous scientists in the lab scanned humans on a molecular level, and then print them in condensate form. Further inside is a storeroom that keeps all the apparitions in separate cells. From the broken cells, some accidents should have happened there before. And the scientists tried to stop the experiment, but it was too late. The apparitions soon got out of control, and killed all the lives. On the roof, the soldiers notice that some scattered apparitions can reunite the body. They soon fall into a bitter battle. In the meantime, Mark and Madison figure out the emergency shutdown procedure. What they need to do is to cut the energy supply. The fierce fighting outside is disturbing the apparitions inside, which manage to break the cells. The big plasmic discharge gun is being recharged. The soldier decides to use 3 clips at the same time. Then, the huge recoil bounces the soldier off, and the big explosion shatters the ceramic glass of the cell. All the apparitions run out in an instant and pounce on Mark. At this critical moment, Mark unlocks all the ports and releases all the cables. All the apparitions are frozen immediately. A few seconds later, they disappear into thin air. Suddenly, the alarm in the lab goes on. It turns out that the apparitions are controlled by these humans' nerves. Their bodies are dead, but the nerves are still alive. Mark unplugs the cables and relieves their suffering. Madison wants to bring some of the scientific research back, but Mark persuades her to give up her stupid idea, for this technology shouldn't have ever existed on this planet. With the apparitions gone, the US Army starts to rebuild the city of Masarif. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Peace out.